today technology is just so out of control. It's so even more hi-fi, you have to go lo-fi to get anything done in secrecy. And that's what I found very compelling about it, about this story, is that everything's on paper, everything's face-to-face. And we've just had a recent scandal with some emails. This is a good thing to point out, and why things are done mostly face-to-face or in a much more clandestine, untraceable way.
Yeah, and they also don't wear Apple Watches, They wear Timexes and Casios because, they don't want to leave a digital...
You're talking about the real people now.
Oh, here we go again. I am going to have to kill you at some point tonight.
It's all right, this is a weapon. Let me ask you a question. When you were getting ready for your role, did you do a lot of research on the internet about the privacy and so on and so forth? I'm just wrapping up my third book. It's on the Silk Road and the dark web, and I looked at my Google history one day and I realized the NSA and the FBI are completely watching everything I'm doing based on my search history. Did you all go through that?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, you start with the internet. The books that you collect are essentially, purchased that way. But I became fascinated with Edward Snowden. I looked at Glenn Greenwald's work, Julian Assange. But the thing that fascinated me the most, once that work had been done, was the fact that we were, as has been talked about, that we were potentially going to play real people in real situations, and seeing very regular people extending themselves psychologically and empathically. And you can see it in that first episode that I always assumed that spies would somehow be robotic and have to be in control of their emotions, but actually they go further than that. And so a lot of the research was more in that field rather than just factual information from the internet, which is unreliable.
Well, it's interesting because when you look at what real spies have to do, and the spies that you're all playing, you have to act for a paycheck. They have to act to save their lives, and it must be interesting to face those challenges as a...
Yeah, and their jobs don't end,
Yeah.
When the series ends or the movie is completed. They continue to do it until they get out.
So, Tamlin, I noticed everyone on the show is sleeping with everyone. Am I in the wrong industry, or is this really what happens at the CIA?
No, I think it's a natural and human and needed instinct that each of us fulfill. Just going back to your tech question, I went old school. I actually went online onto the internet, onto the interwebs, and actually applied to work for the CIA. And I went so far. Because they were asking questions as to how, what field you would like, what are your talents, what are your interests, and I went so far until the point where they started asking real personal questions where I couldn't divulge. It's like, oh, I'm just an actor trying to research a part for working in the CIA.
Did you actually go to Langley?
She now works for the CIA.
Well, actually, just my own personal history is my father is a former LAPD. And he has relationships with FBI people, CIA persons, and so I was able to talk with these workers, these employees, and their families, which was really important to me, because what cost was it for them to have a member of their family working in a clandestine agency, as the LAPD, as CIA, NSA, FBI? We're all actors. We all have to fulfill a kind of mission, and we fortunately, unfortunately, have to deal with our feelings, our desires, and barter them. What is the cost of truth? What is the price we pay? It's all spy secrets and lies and deception and conception, reception. It's all that kind of mystery and smoke and mirrors. And what I was saying before is that we have smoke and mirrors, and it's magic, it's secret, it's fun, it's sexy. But sometimes when you have that mirror, you have to look in front of it. You have to look at it, and sometimes it reflects the reflection of, wow, who am I now? What did I do? At what cost did I have to pay for deceiving these people in order to extract information, to get to a truth?
So one of the things that I found really fascinating is you all filmed in Berlin, correct? And Berlin has some of the strictest privacy laws in the world because of history and so on. Were they receptive to you filming a spy show about a Edward Snowden, Julian Assange kind of character?
It felt to me like they were very used to espionage being shot in their city. I mean, it's kind of the epitome of that world. I mean, we were really lucky. We worked with Babelsberg Studio, which is one of the oldest studios in Europe, so their knowledge and the locations that they found were astonishing. And I feel like the city really is a kind of living, breathing, pulsating character that actually drives most of the narrative. And I loved being there.
I think we all became Berliners, no?
How long were you all there shooting?
6 months.
Wow. All right, so I have a serious question now. So Edward Snowden is clearly a driving force behind the concept behind this. Did you, and I'd love to hear from everyone on this, did you think traitor or hero before and or after? Did you change after reading these scripts and shooting this?
Hero for me.
It's tricky. It's
Yeah.
two sides of a coin for me.
Did it change at all?
People's lives were affected by the truth that was revealed, and
But the truth is the truth.
The truth
Well,
is the truth.
He just asked, am I talking about fiction or fact? I mean, both. I mean, it influences reading these scripts, I'm sure, and spending 6 months being the people that, I think one of the things I found really fascinating from just the first episode was that the writers of the show tried to show both sides of it. I feel like I'm getting both sides of that. And as someone who's reported on these issues, that's something that I've been aware of, and I'm just curious if your views changed.
I feel like for me, as a European playing an American, one of the lines that I really followed was, what does it feel like to be a true patriot, working in the cradle of an institution which is potentially flawed, and tracking down that person that is going to open up all the cracks. It's like, it's my job to find him, but at the same time, I don't want that institution to fracture, because it's what makes me a patriot and it keeps my country safe. That drama which plays out within the character was difficult.
Tamlin? As a CIA officer, I know you're going to have a different viewpoint.
I think all the answers of my castmates are all valid. The thing about it is the plaque, or no, is the grave marker that we see. The truth shall set you free. But we have to take a look at the price of peace, the price of security, and it's such a complicated, complex, convoluted question answer that's not easy. Snowden, I think I did look upon personally with skewed eyes, but reading these scripts and reading the stories of Olin and stuff, and what we went through, it's like there are two sides to each coin, so it's difficult to judge. And who am I to judge? As the character, I'm working on one side, so it's like, nope, he's not. But myself as the actor, it's like, I understand why he did it, and we should not blame him. We should not judge him.
What was it that we talked about the moral compass? People who do what our characters do have to have a flexibility in their moral compass. And what was that?
Well, I think for Valerie, I mean that's very important to her. Holding on to her humanity in a profession that has so little. She's very committed to that, and that was very important to me. Going back to the question of, or staying on the subject of moral compasses and Edward Snowden, I do believe that the truth is the truth, and that
I know you do, and I commend that.
We should have the right to that truth, and I do believe that he's a hero. And we certainly need more truth in our government. And
Well, hopefully Donald Trump will be president, and that'll happen.
well,
You said you wouldn't. You
But
promised
on the
us.
other hand, I do also believe that there is a certain level of operation which shouldn't be public knowledge.
Yeah.
I think.
And there's the other side of the coin.
but it's a small side, don't you think?
After this, we'll be going next door
Depends
to
on the
fight
coin.
with
No, but
bugs.
this
it's-
is hopefully the conversations that people
No,
want
and
to
this
having.
it's absolutely something I was curious about. I mean, I've oscillated between what I believe, from things that I can talk about and things that I can, and I was just curious if your viewpoints had changed. So it seems like
Mine were just cemented by what I discovered and what truly happens behind those doors. And I had been this idea of surveillance and mass surveillance and Snowden and Assange and the FOIA, et cetera, this had been a passionate subject for me to research even before we started this. So it was really a luxury for me to go deeper and deeper into it.
So one thing I've noticed is all of the characters seem to be flawed in the show, except you. What's your flaw?
Oh.
You'll find.
He's just too good looking.
Can you give us a clue what you?
It starts to be nudged upon in the first episode, and we find out it's somewhere in the second episode that his mother was having an affair with an East German spy and was killed in a tragic accident. So it sort of is a little through line to his fallibility.
And yours? What will yours be? Me? All three of you.
What is my character's
Your
flaw?
character's flaw.
I mean, it's pretty evident. He's got a whole platform of them. I mean, he has
Each
no
one of us have to
filter.
take care of, right?
He's like a house on fire, personally. You know,
He's got some great.
he has
lines.
no filter. He has a very close relationship.
No, I'm
with-
talking about your character.
Oh, sorry. Fuck you.
Michelle.
Practically perfect in every way.
Oh, my flaw. My inability to run in heels.
Is that
Or walk through doors.
are these some inside?
Very good at miming.
Are these some inside jokes that happened while shooting?
It's on the screen.
Watch closely.
There is lots of intentional and unintentional bumping. I noticed that when Richard Jenkins / Stephen Frost walks back to his office, he bumps into me, and it was like, I don't remember him bumping into me. And I gave this reaction like, why did you hit me? But yeah, there was lots of bumping along the way.
And Richard Jenkins' flight was canceled.
Yes.
Come here tonight, and we're nothing.
And we're nothing
without him.
Nor
And Reese Ifans
And Reese
is
as well.
in rehearsal for King Lear, and we're
with Glenda Jackson,
gutted that
and he's
not
playing the
here.
fool. So but we all got to fly to London to see Reese.
Nice. So a couple last questions, and then we'll let everyone go get drunk. So what makes this spy show different than other spy shows?
Relationships.
That's a good
I
answer.
have to say that relationships. We say spy, we automatically think cool gadgets and cool suits and wonderful looking people and beautiful, sexy scenes. And we've got that, but we've also got, hey, come on, it's the truth, right? But we've got these flawed characters who are trying to do the best they can for the country that they believe in. And it is an example of how we relate to each other. And it's like, wow, I gotta get up in the morning and do this. It's like, you see it in the strain of our faces, I think. I think we really do with each scene, with each character that we have to play with. It's like, what is the cost of talking with this person? What is the price of having to deliver the information to, our compatriots? It's really difficult and hard. And that's why we end up like Leland, laughing all the time and asking, and swearing up and down the corridors and say, fucking shit, my God, God damn it. And it's examination of how we all relate in trying to do the work we can do.
Yeah, I mean, just to pick up on what Tablin was saying, it's one of the things that attracted me to this piece was the fact that the major plots and the characters inform each other, and sometimes it's all about the plot, and occasionally we have to go visit the characters' personal lives just to give the actor something interesting to do. But it's not the case with this, that every single character's personal experience is feeding into that major plot line, which I think is a testament to the writing.
Thank you, Olin.
And but it's very difficult to do, and it
Very
makes for a complicated, woven tapestry. So.
And Berlin.
Sorry, I was listening, Richard.
So were we. I was. And Berlin. I mean, we have Berlin. You know, no, we have the city of Berlin, which is one of the stars of our show. We shoot the shit out of Berlin. We're in every nook and cranny of the city, and that's exciting. And I think people are going to see Berlin in a way that it hasn't ever been seen before. You know, there's a shadow and a stigma that many people associate with that city, and I hope that we encourage people to see it in a different light, you know, through the show. Vibrant and young and full of art and food and nightclubs.
Tolerance and patience.
And tolerance and patience and, yeah.
So, just to wrap up, what should we all be looking forward to in some upcoming episodes? Can you just give us a little, just a little sprinkle of some...
There's more naked butts.
Anyone else?
That's just Lily.
Any...
Whilst eating food.
There's a lot of food. There's, what else?
What's something that you're all excited for the viewers here to see?
The peeling back of the layers and the reveal of Thomas Shaw and who he really is and why he really is, I think, is the nugget and the nucleus of the intrigue of the show, and it gets very interesting as we head towards 7, 8, and 9. I think that's something.
And how it changes each of our characters and the dynamics between everyone.
Yeah, and the rhythm of it, it accelerates and shit goes down.
And there's a constant beat of, you know, hopping on Leland's analogies, that there's a constant beat of what it means to be in this city. It's innovation versus history. It's new versus old. It's female versus... I was just thinking, Berlin is kind of like the perfect transgender city. I mean, Berlin, you think of Queen Charlotte, if you look back in its history, but it's become this Wilhelm kind of nuanced Neue House of a global, wonderful community, and we were lucky enough to shoot 6 months in it. And she is a really picturesque and beautiful city, and we really warmed our hearts being in it.
Last quick question for you. The scene in the very, very beginning where you get shot with something, where do we have to wait to get back there? Is it the end?
Yeah, it's pretty much the end of the show. Sorry about that. I don't even know.
On that note, well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe the doors to the bar are now open.